Good afternoon guys, and welcome to this STM video today on how to link a site, refresh layers and draw a polygon in GeoEnviron. So today we're going to be looking at our private projects and we're going to be looking in ArcGIS at the extension. So as you can see on the screen here, I already have an ArcGIS project loaded up with radon switched on on one of the layers, but you can see here we've got this little error message in the GeoEnviron menu saying no valid GeoEnviron layers. So what we're going to be aiming to do in this video today guys is refreshing the layer so that we basically pull out data from the database and then add it into the ArcGIS project where it can be sort of queried, and then you can perhaps run a report off it in MapEagle, or just have it as a sort of a database in itself within ArcGIS. So the way to do that is to click this little button right here, which is refresh GeoEnviron layers. A little tip, it will bring up this menu here. We do recommend, I'll show you a bit later on how to configure an auto refresh, but basically if you follow the steps here, this should be a one-time thing. We know a lot of people have issues with it. I do a bit of software support, so I get phone calls about it quite often, and it really is quite a simple thing that hopefully you guys will be able to manage yourselves with the right instructions. So if you look here, we've got the refresh GeoEnviron layers menu. So you've got your module. That's saying what module of GeoEnviron we're going to be talking about. So for us it's going to be case management, just because that's where we do the bulk of our private work. The site type, this is dependent on obviously on your data, so this can be a little bit tricky for people who are new starters. So if you're a new starter, perhaps talk to someone who's been working with the system before and they'll be able to assist you. But for example, it might be a PCL site or a flood asset. For us it's going to be private project. Mapsheet ID is normally quite simple. It usually follows on from the site type, so you'll have a Mapsheet ID that sort of corresponds with the site type itself, and that's basically looking for the GIS coordinates of that site type, if you understand what I'm saying. So here we're going to select private project, and now the GeoEnviron SQL, this can look a bit scary at first, but don't worry, it's a very simple procedure. It's just going to be default, unless of course you have an active SQL, and you'll know you'll have an active SQL because Simon will probably have set it up at some point. So leave that as default. We then have points, polylines and polygons. Okay, so from here you can select all three if you've got all three in your project. This requires some knowledge of the data itself in terms of knowing what sort of site you have. We're just going to use polygons because that's all we have in our database. We just draw site polygons. And the little tip people tend to forget is to rename their site. So here I'm just going to type in private project, which is what we call our private project layer. And then that's it. I'm going to hit refresh. This layer already exists because we already have it in the project, but I'm going to hit yes anyway, and that will duplicate the layer. So we just see that going along, and there we go, it's been completed. So that's a little bit done. And now what I'm doing here is I'm just removing the old private project layer. So here you can see, if you want to check and see if it's been successful, here you will see that layer pop up if it has been successful. Now what we're going to do is we're going to configure an auto refresh. Now an auto refresh is basically just telling GeoEnviron to auto refresh the site. Every time you open up ArcGIS, it's going to look for that data in the database, and that is so important guys, because if you click that, you click OK like I'm just doing here, so tick the box you want to attack, query you want to attack, click OK, and then close this down. Then when you load up ArcGIS, every time it will look for that data, and you will save you so much time and hassle, and it's a really nifty little feature. We really recommend that you guys do. Okay, so next on the database we're going to be looking at how to draw a polygon. So again, using the GeoEnviron menu, we're going to be looking at drawing a feature. So we click on the pen tool. Now I'm just going to draw a really rough polygon here. It's not going to be of anything, it's just going to be a demonstration polygon. So here we've got options in the link feature to GeoEnviron record. So here we've got filter by site type. So as you can see, we've got our land check reports, which we do, and then private project. We're going to stay in private project, but for you guys it might be a PCL site, or it might be a flood asset, or it might be a permit site. You know, I really can't say without knowing your data, but that's what that option is there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit retrieve, and that brings up all the features that you could link to. So here you can see all of our private projects. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select or we're going to search for one. So what we're going to do is just type in 001 and search, and that takes me to the first project with 001. You can see and we could link that site to that polygon by clicking link selected. So basically all the data that we have for that site is now attributed to that polygon we just drew. We're not going to do that, we're going to create a new one. So I'm just going to untick use advanced because we usually use that, but I'm going to create a new one, and it's super simple. You select the site type, so it could be, for us it could be a land check report, or it could be a private project. You give it a site ID by clicking that button there, and here we're going to choose private works, and then you give it a site name. Call this test 001, and now I click OK, and you can see it opens up GeoEnviron for me, and you can see test 001 is created. Now I'm going to go ahead and minimize that for now. So as you can see, we've now got this polygon in the ArcGIS project. If we wanted to look up a polygon's information, we click this G button here, and I'm going to do it to another site that we've got here, and you can see the quick info tool shows you all the information you could require, but if you needed a little bit more, you could always open it up in GeoEnviron, and then that brings up the full record for that site. So I'm going to close that down. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the link that we just created. So we're going to click on this tool here, which is remove link to GeoEnviron record. Click on the polygon, and then we want to either retain the feature, so that's if you just want to delete the information but keep the polygon itself, or in this case if you want to delete the feature, which is delete the polygon and delete the information, which we want to do because it's just a test. So we'll do that. The feature is no longer linked in the database and has been deleted. Would you like to delete the site in the database? The site has been deleted, and there you have it. So guys, that was a really quick video just running you through some of the basics of the GeoEnviron tool in ArcGIS. I really hope that that will enable some of you to become a bit more confident using the tool itself. A special shout out to Paul, who requested that video for us to make the video. We hope you enjoy it, Paul, and we hope it's of some use. In the meantime, guys, I've been Tyree from STM. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Anything else you'd like us to cover in a video, you know, we've got the setup now with the microphones and everything going, so it's quite a simple thing for us to put a video up. So if there's anything at all that you guys would like to see in the videos, then please do let us know in the comments section below. And this has been STM. Thank you for watching.